AITA for not wanting to feature my fiancé's former so who passed away in our wedding. I am not oop. Original post by you, throwaway, 385,647 in R, am I the asshole, trigger warnings. Death. Unresolved grief. Less than mood spoilers. Hopeful but challenging ending. Less than. AITA for not wanting to feature my fiancé's former so who passed away in our wedding. Posted July 13, 2020. TW for loss and death. My fiancé was engaged for about a month to his high school sweetheart when she passed away in a tragic freak accident. For personal reasons, I don't want to get into how it happened, but it was no one's fault. This was maybe 6 years ago. Just for the purpose of the post, I'll call her Mandy. My fiancé has been very open about this loss and how it has affected him throughout our relationship. I know he misses her and the memories he has with her are important and special. I don't want to take away anything or demean the relationship. And I've always been there for him on hard days and supported him when he needed it. We got engaged last year. The date is TBD still for obvious reasons. It was very emotional for both of us. And we've been really happy. But since planning the wedding, I've been feeling like I'm not only planning it for myself, but for Mandy as well. It started as comments from his family. A lot of, "Oh, Mandy would have loved this," type things. I brushed it off at first and just thought it was a way of them processing grief. I have a great relationship with his family, but I know they loved Mandy too. When I went dress shopping, his mom and sister came. They kept talking about what dress Mandy would have worn, what they could see her in, etc. It might seem like nothing, but it really overtook the conversation. So much so that another bridesmaid told me later that she felt uncomfortable for me too. It turned from harmless comments into focusing what should be a special event for me into reminiscing over Mandy. My latest project has been compiling old photos of me and my fiancé for a slideshow at the reception or rehearsal dinner, we haven't decided. He told me there's something he's been wanting to ask me. He really wants to include some kind of "in memory of Mandy" into our wedding and thinks the slideshow would be a perfect place. At this point, I was, and still kinda am, fed up with the Mandy comments taking over our wedding. I sternly told him that no, I don't think that would be appropriate, as this is our wedding and should focus on us. We are having a table with pictures of loved ones who passed, and she will be featured there. He told me that he doesn't think that's enough to honor her memory. He wants to incorporate her in a bigger way, as she never got her dream wedding. He also thinks it would be a sweet surprise for Mandy's parents, who are invited since he is still really close to them. I did lose my cool, I will admit. I told him honestly how I felt about the Mandy situation taking over our wedding, and how I'm uncomfortable with it. I also asked him if he could ask his family to limit the Mandy comments at our wedding, since now I'm afraid the whole wedding will be focused on her. I told him that I need time away to think and have been staying at my parents' house. But we've still been talking. AITA? Am I overreacting? / voted NTA. Update was added as an edit to the original post. However, a separate post labeled as an update was immediately deleted on July 18, 2020. Update. Thank you to everyone for the kind words. I've had a lot to digest over the past few days. I did try to post a separate update, but was told to just add it under my original. I'll try to put a condensed version under here. The wedding is postponed indefinitely, but we are still together and working through things. He was defensive about the situation at first, but eventually came around. We both agreed that couples therapy is needed, and are in the process of starting that. As for his family, they are deeply sorry, especially, mostly, his mom. When I went to talk to her about it, she was really in tears. Mandy was like a daughter to her, So she said. And she just hasn't gotten over losing her yet. I talked to her about therapy. She told me she didn't go after Mandy died. And she agrees it's something to look into. Though not sure if anything concrete has come of it. I can't say that I feel 100% better about the situation. And I think that my relationship with his mom now has a bit of a strain on it. Even if she did apologize. But I'm hoping to work through these things in therapy. And if I can't, or my fiancé can't, then I'll have to do what's best for me and end the relationship. If anything else were to happen, I'll try to post an update. Again, thank you to everyone for the support. It means a lot. Reminder, I am not the original poster. Can't wait for the update where he wants their firstborn to be named Mandy if it's a girl, or Mandy if it's a boy. I have a relative whose fiancé died suddenly about a year before they were supposed to get married. It has made me very cautious about entering into a relationship with the surviving partner. Edit because some of you are projecting and it's scary and gross. For some people, like my relative and perhaps OOP's fiancé, the deceased are forever frozen in perfection and on a pedestal. Any partner who comes after is viewed as a stand-in. Oh dear God. None of these people have Mandy's death processed. They haven't moved on at all. Poor op. I wonder what happened to them. The fiancé and family was definitely out of line. If he is not over Mandy, why have a relationship with another woman? The way they tried to make the wedding all about Mandy, instead of Oop and the groom, is very weird. I totally understand why Oop was angry. Good on her for putting her foot down and speaking up. Wow, what a difficult situation. But I'm happy to see what was, I'm sure, a difficult but very reasonable decision to postpone the wedding indefinitely and work on these issues as a team. I'm glad that she set boundaries regarding what was unacceptable treatment and that it was taken fairly seriously. It seems like the fiancé and his family have a lot of unprocessed and poorly managed grief that they need to work on. And I'm so sorry that was put on this woman's own wedding. It's not a rainbows and butterfly ending. But honestly, something like that would have been unrealistic and inappropriate. It seems like this is the best next step for them, and I wish them all the best. Whether together or apart. I wonder now, almost 3 years on, if they made it or not. I could understand if the guy had had children with Mandy, that it might be okay to honor his kids' mother at the wedding, but the whole family was beyond the pale here. Grief or not, I cannot fathom how someone goes to a bridetobe's dress shopping and even considers making a comparison comment about anyone else. What an absolutely tone-deaf and tasteless thing to do in the face of the person who extended you that honor. In memory of Mandy, now say hello to my wife, who I wouldn't be married to if only Mandy were alive. This guy is nowhere close to being ready to move on. And I mean, they were kids who weren't even quite married. I'm sure the love was genuine, but this inability to let go after 6 years seems unusual. I've never seen someone say original poster in full like that. Very formal. This ending took a turn for the normal. I am starting to feel like what I once considered normal behavior. Rational, unusual and unhinged behavior the norm. I like the stories where people mostly act right. It is a pleasant surprise. She never got her dream wedding. Well, guess what, dude? At this rate, neither is op. His whole family are insensitive asshole. Yeah, I get grieving, but weddings are for the living, not the dead. How awful for poor op to have had her wedding dress shopping experience ruined by those asinine comments about Mandy. Do those people have no self-awareness? WTF? Good thing they postponed the wedding. Fiancé needs to decide if he really wants to marry op or Mandy's gravestone. Definitely therapy for all. Tell me you're the replacement wife without telling me you're the replacement wife. Oop was optimistic, but something tells me this relationship is not gonna last. Not only it changed how she view his family, but also her family and close friends have a very different opinion of the groom and certainly will try to talk her out if it. I really wish the ages were posted. If this was like 2 years ago, I can understand. I'm guessing that due to the lack of updates, the situation never progressed, at least in a positive way, which may have actually been good for both these people in the long run. Imagine having kids in this messed up dynamic and fiancé's family going, "Oh, I wonder what Mandy's kids would have looked like face vomiting. I've gone through loss and grieving, but his family disgust me." There is no way this engagement survived COVID. I hope she left him and his family. They obviously never accepted her as anything other than a consolation prize. The oop needs to run and keep running. In this case, therapy is a waste of time and money. She's wasting her time on a man who wants to be married to another woman he can't have and marrying into a family that wants their son married to another woman. If the oop marries him, he will forever compare her to the other woman, if not in spoken words then in thought. Op, just stand aside and put a cardboard cutout of Mandy in your place. Then they'd all be happy. I'd seriously consider moving on. It's not going to be a healthy relationship on any level. Unit the fiancé and his family process the passing of Mandy with or without therapy. I don't think this wedding is going to happen.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.